It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where, make no mistake about it, Vince is leaving a shit stain on the WWE. It is lost to the Midcard. Welcome. Halfway through January already, almost to the Royal Rumble. Insane that a week from Saturday, we will be at the Royal Rumble. We won't be there, but man, I wish. My favorite pay-per-view of the year, though, is already on the docket. If you were wondering what that open was all about, I tweeted earlier about Shitstain, and Matt thought I meant Shitstorm. I go, no, I meant Shitstain. And Vince is leaving one right now in the WWE. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. What's up, Matt?
Man, I'm not feeling super swift today. Allergies are kicking my ass. My eyes are beyond fucked. So that's why I'm rocking some shades today. Not because the future of professional wrestling looks so bright. It does, but that's not why I'm wearing them tonight. It's honestly just so maybe it'll chill my eyes out a little bit, and we can just we can talk about some professional wrestling tonight, heading into Raw, heading into a big NFL playoff game. Marcho in here with his newfound fandom of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wonder why. I promise I'm not blind, but if my allergies get any worse, I might be blurry. So these glasses are honestly just enough to help me get through this show, guys, and I appreciate it.
As always,
that's just the way it is.
As always, everybody, thank you for joining live. If you are joining live for the first time, feel free to comment. We'll get your comments and all that on air for you. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to the Bleav in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, where you may be watching this right now or maybe finding us for the first time. Give us a thumbs up, a little orange casty thumbs up, and share this with your friends so we can all have fun live the hour before Monday Night Raw, leading up to Raw, your official kickoff show. Monday Night Raw will get going here at the top of the hour. We will let you know what Sean Ross Sapp has planned for Monday Night Raw once that post gets released here. I did not even look at the Raw preview for today. Anything WWE released for going on?
WWE putting for the second week in a row, my friend. Raw's the two matches that have been announced so far don't sound great.
Six-way elimination match to determine Austin Theory's challenger for the United States title at Raw XXX.
That's just next week.
That's next week. Miz, Finn Balor. Wait a second. I see 7 people on the... Oh, never mind. That's because JBL's dumbass is on the graphic. I was like, I see 7 people on the graphic. What the hell? Miz, Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Happy Baron Corbin with douchebag...
Dumbass Corbin.
Douchebag
Jelly
Snowflake.
Belly Layfield.
Yeah, douchebag Snowflake JBL on the graphic as well. Judgment Day taking on Alpha Academy as well. So... we'll see what happens there once we get it going. Look at the chat lighting up right now. Is it illegal for Vince to blackmail his way back into WWE? Well,
somebody's suing him for it, so I guess we'll find out.
We'll see what the court says. I mean, he's a majority shareholder, so I don't know if that means he could just walk into the board of directors. I don't know. MK calling Matt freshly squeezed. There you go.
I should have worn one of my Orange Cassidy shirts. I didn't even think about it.
Should have got a denim jacket. Mark Cho claiming he was a fan before the playoffs. Okay.
He's had a Jaguar shirt for a while. At least at some point in this season, I remember him showing off his Jaguars shirt. So
F and Mark. WWE and fans are in denial, says MK. When Vince takes back creative, their world's going to crumble down. Well, we'll talk about Vince taking.
that's certainly a fear.
Safet saying no one is above the law. Well, Vince thinks he
Well,
is.
you are when you're rich and powerful, apparently, but that's another topic for another time.
Judgment Day earned a Raw title shot. Why are they wrestling Alpha Academy? That's because they're taking on the Usos at Raw Triple X, I believe.
That's because they're punting tonight.
Yeah, exactly. WWE does not want to go against the NFL playoff game, which is dumb in its own right. I think they should just have 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday for Super Wildcard Weekend. I don't think why make a disadvantage to tonight's winner with a short week. I don't know, but anyways, it's the NFL. They make all the money in the world.
I'm sure WWE isn't happy about it. So
no, yeah,
they're gonna get smashed tonight.
Hey, they
lucked out last week because Georgia
the game
blew
sucked.
you out of the damn water.
A lot of people tuned away from
their
that game.
Viewership actually went up because people tuned out. I don't see that happening tonight. Like Tom Brady, Dallas Cowboys, like even if it's a blowout, I still see people wanting to watch because of the storylines going into that game. I think WWE is in a lot of trouble tonight, but I really hope to God they give us a show to remember next week with Raw is 30. So
Raw is 30.
Creative, please.
Raw is Triple X is what it is. I wonder if that means Elix Skipper and Christopher Daniels are going to show up.
Probably. I'm going to say that's probably unlikely, sir.
I think Dallas is going to choke as they usually do come playoff time. Tom Brady's going to lead Tampa Bay to at least one playoff game, I think. So we'll see. Let's go into our lead. Look at this guy right here. Adam Cole, baby. To our surprise, as we watched AEW Dynamite, made his triumphant return to the company after being away for nearly 6 months. And it shocked a lot of people. They kept him hidden. As we saw kind of behind the scenes, they kind of kept him hidden to entering in the arena and whatnot. And it was a big surprise. Everybody backstage even. To see Adam Cole. Now, they probably wasn't a big surprise to see Adam Cole backstage, but to see him go up the stairs and go out to the ring, and of course it shocked the fans. A gigantic pop, man! That pop was amazing. Loved it. We got some story time with Adam Cole, baby, who mentioned, of course, the gratitude for the past 6 months of support. As he's dealing with various injuries, most of which a concussion. Thanked his girlfriend Britt Baker for taking care of him on nights he didn't know what to do with himself. Very emotional promo, Matt, and then of course he fires shots into the locker room saying everybody be warned because Adam Cole is back, baby. What did you think of this segment on Dynamite last week?
I loved it. It was a great surprise. My only critique, and this doesn't fall on Adam Cole, this falls on AEW. If you knew everybody was expecting Mercedes Moné on that show, you bring Adam Cole out right after the women's match. So you either open with the women and leave Cole where he was, or you swap the JAS and the Adam Cole segments.
Yeah.
Because that fucking, that JAS promo after the women's tag, that was shit.
I'm going to knock your face off your face.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled Adam Cole's back. I can't wait to see what he does. But man, they whoever put the show together in order, which I'm assuming was Tony Khan, he chose poorly last week, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get to Mercedes Moné later, but yeah, truly a great moment with Adam Cole. I don't know. Apparently, well, I guess things can change in a hurry. But is he going to come back as a babyface? If he's a babyface, is he going to be the Kingdom? Are the Kingdom going to be babyface?
He certainly implied babyface tendencies on Dynamite, but I mean, just because he did that then doesn't mean that's how he's going to act this week. So I think the verdict's out But at the end of the day, people want to cheer Adam Cole. So it'll be interesting. I think more interested than anything. I'm curious to see what his first feud is going to be, being back, because I think that'll tell us a whole lot about their future plans for him in the months to come.
Adam Cole last wrestled at Forbidden Door in a fatal 4-way for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship with Adam Page, Jay White, and Kazuchika Okada. Was the last time we saw Adam Cole. It is pretty cool to see. Stephen Chambers, thanks for joining us as always. Awesome to see Adam Cole back, baby. Unusual Cole as a babyface. Who will Cole's first opponent be? That's a big, wide up in the air thing. As Matt just said, I don't know. I mean, Ethan Page would be kind of fun. That definitely took a turn with being the Elite today, with apparently broken Matt starting to come through. I think Ethan Page would be a fun one to start with, but I really don't know. It's wide open because you could go any direction with Adam Cole right now, babyface or heel. Obviously, you go heel.
I think it's wide open right now. For him,
I mean, obviously, if you go heel, you pair him with the Kingdom.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer to me. If you're going the heel route anyway.
How close is Kyle O'Reilly to coming back? Does he join with Kyle?
Not anytime soon.
It's like, if he was close to coming back, you could have him and Adam Cole going against the Kingdom, and then Adam turning on Kyle or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's wide open. It's wide open. Greg Bush, thank you for joining us, man. Our old fellow compatriot over at Sportskeeda. So since the Elite War fell apart, do you guys think Adam Cole should be hot-shotted to one of the title scenes, ROH or TNT?
I'm not putting them in the ROH scene, especially since they're about to start filming TV, because I feel like the people who are going to be representing that company with championships aren't going to be seen on Dynamite and Rampage very often. I think they're going to want to try to keep those separated as the titles go. Yeah. So I wouldn't push him towards the ROH. TNT is interesting. I mean, at that case, you'd have to make him a heel and go after Darby Allin, unless we're talking like immediately following Revolution, because there's a lot of rumors that we could see Powerhouse Hobbs defeat Darby for the title at Revolution. And if that happens, I would very much think I would enjoy the hell out of an Adam Cole Powerhouse Hobbs match. I don't know if you'd want to take that title off of Hobbs immediately, but the TNT title is more flip-floppy than any other title AEW has. So, like, I can see that title bouncing around a lot more than any other title they have right now. So, yeah, I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah. MK, time to build Cole to MJF at Double or Nothing. Needs to feud with Ethan Page and a couple of mid-carders. Like I said, Ethan Page, that'd be a fun feud. Frantic World, thanks for joining as always. We appreciate you being here. Stephen Chambers, if Cole's going to be a babyface, wonder about Britt also. Hey, did you notice the crowd was cheering Britt and Jamie and booing Tony Storm and Saraya?
I think they're heading towards a double turn.
Yeah,
I think everybody thinks Sheeta's going to turn, but I think Sheeta's going to remain what she is. And she's going to end up aligning with Britt and Jamie, because they're going to go face, and Saraya and Tony are going to go heel.
Yeah.
And I think this is all leading to the first ever women's blood and guts match, which is going to be hilarious, since everybody's so up in arms about that women's match on Rampage on Friday.
And it's going to be
a women's blood and guts match. My God.
It's going to be AEW Originals against the Outsiders. It's going to be, throw in Chris Statlander if she's ready, and you throw her in with Hayter and Britt Baker and Sheeta. You throw Chris Statlander in there. What if Trinity and Mercedes do come to AEW? Then you got 4-on-4 right there. Otherwise, Athena could join as well. There's a lot of ways you could go with that too. So
you could make an argument that Thunder Rosa wasn't an original.
True.
I mean, there's several different ways they can go if they want to tell the story, and I think there's plenty of ways to do that between now and when they decided to pull the trigger on that match.
Yeah, MK in the chat, the JAS segment was okay until Starks and Hager started talking. Should have put it on Rampage to give more time for the main event,
Yes,
which a lot of people said.
100%.
Yeah.
This was a segment that could have gone on Rampage to get that ladder match another 5 to 10 minutes.
The hilarious thing is when Jake Hager said, "I want to slap your face off your face," they used that line in the Dynamite commercial during Rampage.
I saw.
Frantic World.
They think it's funny.
Frantic World saying, "Give me MJF and Adam Cole."
See,
that would be great.
Everybody really wants that match, but here's my thing: Cole's already lost a shot at the AEW World Championship. If you're putting Cole against MJF, Cole's got to win.
Yeah.
So I don't put Cole against MJF until you know MJF's title reign's about to come to an end, and you let Cole take the title from MJF. I'm cool with that. I originally said I wanted it to be Ricky Starks, to be the one in the end to come back and take it from him, but I would totally be okay if they did it with Adam Cole instead. I can't hate Adam Cole. Baby.
Well,
speaking of dumbasses.
Yeah, speaking of dumbasses, Vince McMahon, though thankfully this news comes from a guy that's wrong a lot, but reports from Dave Meltzer are suggesting that Vince McMahon could be in a position to suggest changes about WWE creative, following reports from Fightful Select, and well, it says Ringside News, but we're not going to pay attention to them because they are about as good as zero news in this world. That Vince could be making suggestions about creative and could be returning to television soon. Of course, Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select, earlier today stated that they had a wrestler meeting here today prior to Monday Night Raw tonight, basically reiterating the same things that they had in the talent-only meeting on Friday, and Triple H continuing to reiterate that there are not going to be any changes to creative, and Vince is not going to get his hands on that again. So obviously Dave has been wrong a lot ever since the 8 years we've been doing this show, Matt. So I'm not too worried.
I'm worried because it's Vince. I'm not worried because of a Dave Meltzer report. I'm worried because, well, it's Vince. And like, even if Meltzer is inaccurate in his report, it doesn't mean that this isn't something that could end up happening.
Yeah.
We need to get through WrestleMania. If they can go through WrestleMania and they keep Vince away from creative, I feel like then that's really what's going to happen, and Vince will actually be hands off of the creative product. But between now and WrestleMania 39, I'm going to be nervous and apprehensive that 1 week he's just gonna, pull a power play and try to take over the creative again in the company, and it'll just be a disaster waiting to happen.
From what I'm seeing, almost every buyer, potential buyer is not going to want Vince in power.
Except for the Saudis, imagine that.
Except for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Comcast and NBC Universal a lot of reports are saying that Comcast and NBC are the leaders. It's not the Saudis.
As they should be.
Yeah.
They absolutely should be the front runners in this.
Vince doesn't have all the power though. He's on the board of directors. He has power for sale to make the sales, but at the same time, he can still be voted off too as board of director, right?
I don't know. They unanimously voted him the executive chairman of the board again that night that Steph quit. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just don't. The ratings have improved. Morale has improved. It's like, why fuck with that? But it's Vince.
I agree, but I mean, it's Vince. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Because Vince hasn't given a damn about anything other than himself before. Why change now?
Steven Chambers in the chat. Despite Fox losing millions of dollars on SmackDown, wonder if Fox will renew SmackDown by the end of 2023. Well, that's the thing. If they sell, if they sell to NBC Universal, everything's going to go.
They're not getting SmackDown.
SmackDown's going to go to NBC. Which would be interesting. We said this on the show last week.
I still don't think they'll do that. I think it'll go back to USA.
I think they'll go. I think they put on NBC. They see 2.5 million on a Friday night That's a hell of a draw for a Friday night. They put that on, and then they follow with Young Rock, and then the Lopez show at 9:30, 10:30 Eastern. I don't know. Charles, welcome. Thanks for joining us, man. Charles in the chat here saying Vince is done with creative. I think he's just back to get as much money as possible from the sale. And that's what I said.
That's everybody's hope. That's everybody's hope. I mean, that's what we all want.
Yeah, I've said that from the beginning. I've said that from the beginning too. But yeah.
I just have a very hard time believing that man.
Yeah.
He's a pathological liar.
That's true.
So
MK in the chat, I don't see Disney in the mix. Word is they want to offload ESPN, so not likely they're in a buying mood.
I have not heard that rumor, but if that's the case, I couldn't see them wanting to get WWE either, because I think the WWE ESPN combination is a powerful marketing tool. And if Disney's looking to offload ESPN, I couldn't imagine that they would turn around and want to get WWE. But again, I have not heard that they want to get rid of ESPN. That's news to me.
Greg Bush in the chat, Vince's ego struggled when they managed without him.
100%
Exactly. And Charles, all of the WWE will be on the CAC. Yes, it will be. Yeah, it
is. That's true. That's true too. Nobody trusts Vince except Vince.
And Mark Cho in the chat here. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Reports within WWE have repeatedly stated that McMahon will not be back to run creative or any other aspect of WWE's operations outside of a sale. Although one talent allegedly did tell Fightful that it's Vince, so I don't believe a word he says. I hope current management and everything doesn't change, but only time will tell. So. A guy that knows Vince very well, Eric Bischoff, says Vince will do what's best for business, even if it makes him throw up. So Eric Bischoff does believe that Vince will keep his hands out of creative because he sees how well it's going without him. So
I hope so. I really do. I want nothing but the best for WWE, and for the most part, while it hasn't been perfect, I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 6 months of WWE as a company without Vince's fingers all throughout the creative process. So
Eric Bischoff.
I sincerely hope it continues all the way into WrestleMania.
Eric Bischoff said on his 83 Weeks podcast, he goes, if you accept that and step back and you take your emotion and your wrestling fandom out of the equation, what's best for business? Currently, I think the existing creative team with Triple H and Bruce, all the way down to to a lot of writers that I do know personally are fantastic talent. What's best for business is you let them keep doing what they're doing because it's working. So there's a part of me that says, yeah, even if Vince takes it private, I could see him continuing to allow that process to exist as long as it does continue to be successful. And Mark Cho trusting Bischoff more than Vince. Well, yeah, that's about right. He says
he trusts Bischoff less than Vince, and honestly, I can't blame him. So,
Safin in the chat again. Remember Bernie Madoff? He went to prison. Yeah, he made off with a lot of money too. Ha! Moving on to this guy right here, Cody Rhodes. We got an update.
Nightmare.
Got an update from Fightful Select a couple of days ago here from this guy who is expected to be making his triumphant return to the Royal Rumble, maybe even sooner since there are vignettes and such. Maybe he makes a surprise tonight. Probably not, because it's Raw Triple X next week. So maybe next week Cody comes back.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we see him before the Rumble, I think it's next week. With them punting at Monday Night Football tonight, like the playoff game, I could not for the life of me see them putting Cody Rhodes live on the show. We're going to get another, comeback vignette, which they are totally redoing the formula. Triple H is a Beautiful Day series of vignettes that led to his return before he won the Royal Rumble. When he came back from the torn quad. They're totally redoing that. And if they go through all of this and Cody comes back and doesn't win the damn Rumble because of The Rock, I'm going to be fucking pissed. I'm going to be really fucking pissed.
I don't think even Triple H. I think Triple H himself knows that The Rock winning the Rumble would go over like a fart in church. So, Cody Rhodes update from a couple of days ago on Fightful Select. He's working his way back to was recently working to get in-ring clearance. Sources familiar with the situation confirmed to Fightful Select that not only is Cody Rhodes preparing for his return, he's been at the Performance Center to prepare. And Cody Rhodes was spotted at the Performance Center in late December as of members of his family and his team. Particularly interesting note that was Cody Rhodes was able to select who helped him prepare for his return, and he selected NXT stars Carmelo Hayes and Joe Gacy to work alongside him to get ready for his on-screen in-ring return. Cody Rhodes is factored into the WrestleMania plans. No surprise there. But he had been factored into that as far back as the fall, despite his injuries. They did expect, obviously, him to heal in time for the WrestleMania season, and all indications show that he is ready to go. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
I'm excited, man. My heart was broken when he got injured last year.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see what they were going to do beyond like the feud with Rollins, and we never got to freaking see it. So
yeah,
I'm really excited to see what Cody does. I'm hoping, like I said, I hope he wins the Rumble. I hope he dethrones the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania. Go all in on this man.
He's gonna make his return to NXT tomorrow night, says Charles.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, Charles.
Very interesting. Yeah, also interesting to note, last week's vignette had Brandy on there too, so it'll be interesting there. Steven Chambers in the chat, Cody and Seth 1-2. That's not a bad idea.
I'm not putting somebody who's been out of the ring for 6 to 7 months in the Royal Rumble at number 1. No freaking way.
If anybody can do it, it's Cody.
I put him in somewhere in between 25 and 30. There's no way I'm asking a guy who's been out of the ring for a half a year, hey, why don't you go in there and work an hour? I'm not fucking doing that.
Why not?
Why not? He could blow up. That's why not.
This past Friday was Impact Hard to Kill. I did not watch it myself, but a lot of indications. A lot of indications were that it was a good show. We'll talk about the results real quick here later on. But interestingly to note, a former WWE Intercontinental Champion, Santino Marella, has officially signed with Impact Wrestling. And it was revealed at Hard to Kill that he was Scott D'Amore's replacement as the Director of Authority, is what they call that, after Bully Ray took Scott D'Amore out on the January 5th episode of Impact. So good to see Santino Marella back in the business. And what are your thoughts on Impact bringing him in, Matt?
I think Impact has the balls going after a collapsed copyrighted trademark from WWE and filing it themselves. I guarantee you Impact heard from WWE legal at some point this week. Like, there's no way that they just took this lying down, because Cody went and trademarked shit when he was with AEW, and WWE was so damn pissy about it, they gave him Cody Rhodes back to get those trademarks back. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because he's been on Impact before under I think his real name is what they were going under before. So
yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he went under his real name.
Greg saying Hard to Kill was worth the money, hoping they put some said money into their sound issues, and hopefully they can put something.
Hey, their sound issues are look. If you want to talk about sound issues, we can talk about Game Changer Wrestling. In terms of sound issues for their events, Impact has impeccable sound compared to what GCW puts out. But look, I look, for the most part, like I kid on Impact and stuff, but I've genuinely enjoyed their product, but I have a very, 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 very hard time putting my support behind a company that currently employs Bully Ray. So
hey, I don't mind him.
The sooner he's gone, the happier I'll be.
Frantic World saying that Santino owns that name now.
Well, the Impact's the one that filed the trademark for it. So, I mean, that thing that expired through WWE. So,
Hard to Kill, Kushida showing up in Impact. He defeated Alan Angels, Delirious, Mike Bailey, Mike Jackson, and Umera in a 6-way match. Trey Miguel retained his Impact X Division title against Black Taurus. Josh Alexander defeated Bully Ray by submission in the Full Metal Mayhem match. The Machine Guns retained. Joe Henry retained his Impact Digital Media title. Masha Slamovich is now your number one knockout contender. Steve Macklin defeated Rich Swann in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Eddie Edwards defeated Jonathan Gresham. As Stephen Chambers said, not a happy camper. A lot of people thought that was the match of the night, I heard there. And Mickie James continues to wrestle as she now is the Impact Knockouts champion, I think for a 7th time, if I'm not mistaken. But she defeated Jordan Grace.
The thing about Gresham is if I'm Impact and I've signed him to a deal, I need to make sure he's there to play ball. Because he had that blow up in hissy fit when he was about to drop the championship to Claudio.
Yeah.
If I'm Impact, I need to know that you're going to come in here and you're going to lose a couple matches with a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Before I turn around and decide that I want to start pushing you up the card.
That's a good point.
So I think giving him that loss at Hard to Kill, and if he handled it well backstage, I think that means good things for him later on this year at Impact. But you got to be cautious, after that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Mickie James, a 5-time Knockouts champion after Friday night. Is that true? Kushida and Darby Allin this week? Nice.
Open challenge, baby. Kushida coming to kick that ass.
Stephen Chambers saying Masha going to beat Mickie. I've said that Masha is long overdue to win that title. So, and now that Mickey's champion, is she still going to be on this "I lose, I'm done" thing?
They've been very loose with the terminology of that going into that match on what would occur if she won the title. So I think that's basically their story to right now as they go ahead.
Bay and Austin, so Greg Bush in the chat, Bay and Austin so damn good. Sure, they'll get those titles in no time. I thought they were going to win them. I predicted it last week on the show here that they were going to win it. And Jared in the chat, thanks for joining us. We're going to lead us right into the final story over the weekend here. Do you think we will get an AEW or WWE 2K games release date soon? Well, just so happens we've got an update for you on WWE 2K. It has been announced that news for WWE 2K23 is going to be announced on the day of the Royal Rumble this year, which is, of course, a week from Saturday on January 28th. Our good friend Mike Straw from Insider Gaming says the reveal is coming. And according to a report, there will be hands-on gameplay available, and the gameplay will feature select bouts from this year's showcase mode. Also, the event will feature a look at a new game mode. Any insight into that there, Matt, about the new game mode?
No. From my understanding, we're going to see some type of trailer for 2K23 at the Royal Rumble, and then the information that will be learned by the media at that event on Saturday will hit the internet either that following Tuesday or Wednesday. The way their letter reads to the media is very confusing. Well, you're not missing much, Charles. Like, if you haven't played 2K22, you don't need to, I promise. But I think we will get a release date for 2K23, probably at the Rumble. I think the release date will be in the trailer. I would be shocked if it wasn't. As far as AEW Fight Forever goes, I'm working on something right now, trying to clarify it with multiple people before I run it, because I'm not in the market of just posting bullshit like you see some people doing online right now. It seems the holdup with AEW Fight Forever right now has something to do with the ESRB. I don't want to dive too far into it right now without gaining concrete facts, but let's just say it seems like Ukes might have jumped the gun on the build that they sent to the ESRB to be approved before the game was done, and that's causing some issues now. So, yeah. Last week I was pretty confident we were going to see Fight Forever before Revolution. Today I sit here not as confident as I was last week. A lot of this is going to come down to the ESRB, getting that that information. Like, honestly, you guys could check ESRB's website daily and just search for Fight Forever until that game is in their library on that website. We're not close to a final date because it has to go through the ESRB first.
Yeah.
And the final product has not gone through the ESRB for a rating yet. And they really want to be T for teen for selling reasons, and it seems that the game's more
Getting an M?
it's a lot more M than it is T right now. So
all right,
it's a very complicated situation. I'm doing everything I can to find out more information. When I have 100% concrete info, I promise, like, that'll be out there. I'm conferring with people. I'm talking to my sources. It just seems like it's a much more messier situation than I think anybody realized.
Yeah. Moving on to television here, Monday Night Raw, as Matt said about this week, well, they did the same thing last week as well. They did a lot of punting last week. Oh, it was not a terrible, terrible show, just not a lot of progression. I mean, when you have KO facing Baron Corbin, that tells you all you need to know about what they thought about their chances against a championship game, though that championship game did turn into the worst blowout in the history. Then we got Alexa Bliss with Uncle Howdy coming out. Then we just went to commercial and forgot all about it. Okay, that was interesting. Interesting way of doing things there. Bailey took on.
I'm really not liking the way they're handling the Wyatt stuff right now. It's
very
disappointing.
I see a lot of people saying that they're handling the Wyatt thing just like how they've handled Wyatt before. It's just not going anywhere.
No, I think it's worse. I think it's almost moving at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
Compared to how they ran his stuff before. I definitely feel it's much slower and drawn out without really type of meaningful progression from week to week.
Bailey defeated Michin in a decent little 10-minute match. They announced that Johnny Gargano has a grade 2 AC sprain in his shoulder. This is a legit injury, but a lot of optimism that he will be back for the Royal Rumble, so that's good to hear.
Hoping for.
Yeah, we had a promo with Austin Theory and Seth Rollins, the return of Bobby Lashley being reinstated as well. A lot of teasing of Hurt Business. We'll see if now that
coming back.
Now that Lashley's back, we'll see how that happens there. Unfortunately, Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae only got 4 minutes there. We got another Cody return video with Brandy in it this time as well. Solo Sikoa beating Dolph Ziggler. Miz TV with Dominic Mysterio. Oh my God, Dominic, Gangsta Dominic, man, this is so bad.
Mike.
This
and
is
the Dementalist.
This is so bad. It's funny, man. I just this is just I think they're intending on this, and I'm laughing with them or at them and both or something like that.
Yeah, or both.
And what do you like? What's a good thing to do when you're punting to another competition on TV? You do a tag team turmoil match, and that's what.
It's like a whole hour of the damn show.
You do either a gauntlet match or a turmoil match to kill some time. And they did do that. And Judgment Day got the win. And they will face the Usos. I think it's Raw XXX, right? Or have they not announced it yet?
They have not officially announced it yet, but I mean, people are assuming that because they're doing a SmackDown tournament right now, starting next week to crown number one contenders for the SmackDown tag team titles. And I doubt they're going to have the Usos work 2 matches at the Rumble. So doing one at Raw next week and then one at the Rumble would make the most sense.
Yeah, let's catch up on the chat here. Steven Chambers, good thing I didn't pre-order AEW. They keep delaying it.
I mean, you can pre-order whenever you want. I mean, that's the game's still going to be there for you when it comes out.
I personally
I do everything digitally now. So like I literally can't pre-order it until we have a date because they won't put it up for pre-order.
I'm gonna go physical on this one. Until there's a date. There's certain things I want. Yeah, there's certain things I want physical copies of, and I want the first AEW game. I want a physical copy of it.
I gotta go digital. You're not wrong. There's a
Char-
lot of blood in this game, and we've yet to see what the exploding barbed wire death match looks like.
Yeah.
Like there's a good chance that they might just not be able to get this to a T rating like they want.
For those listening on the podcast, Charles in the chat, T for teen with all the blood in a death match is going to be hard. Frantic World, though, says, I would love to have a rated M wrestling game. Yes, but try selling that to the kids, which is your biggest probably market. Granted, there's a lot of fans.
I think that Wrestling Co. game could come out and be rated M. I'm not saying that it's going to be, but I think they could get away with something like that.
Yeah. MK, what the hell is a pitch black match? We only assume it's going to be a match under purple lighting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be dark purple lighting, like the color of the Mountain Dew soda, and I think it's going to be a street fight of some sort. I think that's really all it's going to be.
A lot of people think like all the faces of Bray are going to show up in this match too. Like Bray's going to do a lot of costume changes in this match, which I don't know if that's a good thing to do.
I don't think that's going to happen, but
Greg Bush agreeing with Matt. This white stuff has taken months to go nowhere. Yes, but it's been a good feud with LA Knight though too.
I love Bray too. I just want to see the storyline advance.
Yeah. Steven Chambers trying to be patient with Bray Wyatt, but man, they're dragging this out. WWE drinking too much. If they were drinking too much pitch black, they would be putting this out way too fast and finish the story.
You would think the storyline would speed up a bit if they were chugging the pitch black.
Greg Bush, let Prism Dom come out to Eddie's cell phone theme.
Oh man.
Frantic World helps. Tony Khan signs Willie Mack to ROH. That'd be a good signing.
I think that would be a tremendous signing for
Look at this. We got back-to-back chats of Dominic is the new Conan. Poor Conan.
He was totally dressed like Conan on Raw on Monday last week.
Yeah, there are a lot of kids that do play GTA, as Frantic World says in the chat. As long as your parents buy it for you.
My argument with somebody that one of my sources who just is insisting how badly everybody wants this game to be rated T. Like, I don't think the ESRB ratings are as important in 2023 as they were in, say, 2003, where you literally had to go into a store with an ID to buy a video game. I mean, now if you want an M-rated game, just buy it digitally. Like, you don't need to worry about, truly being of age to buy the game. I don't think it matters nearly as much as it did then than it does now. I like just like the weekly wrestling television ratings. Sure. I think the ESRB means a lot less in 2023, just like weekly wrestling ratings do.
NXT New Year's Evil happened on Tuesday. We got Dijak destroying Tony D'Angelo. The Creed brothers are supposed to take on into Sheer. Unfortunately, Veer's father, I believe, is who passed away.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which opened the door for Jinder Mahal to come to NXT. Big pop for him. I guess that's because everybody knows who he is.
Look, it's now official. That fucking crowd at the Performance Center will cheer for anything. For anything. If it
anything
doesn't
from the
matter.
main roster.
Yes, if it's something from the main roster, they're apparently a god in the WWE Performance Center because they treated Jinder Mahal like he was a 16-time world champion. Like, give me a fucking break.
Pretty Deadly was trying to stack the deck for an easy way to get to the New Day, but Gallus said, hold my beer, as Gallus made their return from their quote-unquote suspension and were the winners of that gauntlet match there for the tag titles. Tiffany Stratton makes her return to NXT. Good to see her back.
Yeah, she was needed. That's a nice return.
Caden Carter and Katana Chance at the parking lot, the most dangerous place in professional wrestling, but they didn't get beat up, surprisingly. You knew this wasn't going to be a title change because this was in the middle of the show. Braun Breaker against Grayson Waller, and the rope breaks, and Braun wins by countout. We'll get to that more on that later, but I thought it was a good match between those two. But obviously we're leading towards Vengeance Day with a rematch with those guys. Charlie Dempsey tapping out Hank Walker. Jinder Mahal beating Julius Creed, something I do not agree with. Though I like Jinder, they should not have had Julius get pinned by him. And a 20 women #1 contenders battle royal. won by both of Toxic Attraction. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane pulling their best. What was that back in the day? Was that
Brett
Luger?
Luger,
Brett and Luger.
Batista Cena.
Batista Cena. We all remember that one when Vince tore his quads. Who could forget the night that Vince tore his quads and sat there like an idiot? Mark Cho saying the ultra violence game will be rated M. Well, I would say if it was an ultra violence game, it would be.
Yeah, but
M.
how many people are going to buy the ultra violence game?
It's probably a low budget game. Well, yeah, Call of Duty. Yeah, every 10-year-old. That's why I mute.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I mute
he's
the
not
chat.
Wrong.
I mute the chat. I don't listen to those fuckers. I just mute the chat whenever I play Call of Duty. Don't diss the Maharaja Mac Daddy, says Greg Boy. Hey, I am
hindering the gender.
I've always liked
hindering the gender.
I've always liked gender. I will
hinder the gender.
I've got 8 years of podcasts to prove it. I've always liked Jinder Mahal. NXT fans are paid. Oh, they're paid. Oh, we're impacting them.
I don't believe they're paid. I believe they get in for free though.
There's Charles saying to Matt, don't
too many Jinder Mahal fans in this chat tonight. What are y'all doing?
Love it.
What are y'all doing?
Mark Show wants to talk to Chad Frost.
God. Do you know what he's talking about, JB?
No.
Okay. On Friday's episode of Young Rock, it was during the Attitude Era. And they had a character on the show called Chad Frost who got injured and had to be out in bad talk rock behind his back. And it's very obvious that it's Shawn Michaels. And I guess The Rock doesn't even want to acknowledge Shawn Michaels' existence on his show, so he made him up and made him into somebody else. Rock, if you still have an issue with this man, let it go because it's affecting your daughter's WWE career as a member of the fucking Schism.
Yeah, hello. And Charles saying, get over here and show me your total package. I will pass on that.
Luger?
MK saying because of the Saudi rumors, NXT was completely overshadowed. Yeah, that was definitely
true.
Definitely an interesting thing. Let's move along to Friday night, and that is SmackDown night and Rampage night. But first off, SmackDown. We kicked it off with the Intercontinental title match between Gunther and Braun Strowman. A very lengthy, almost 20-minute match. I thought this was a pretty good match here for the IC belt, Matt.
Yeah, I went back and watched this after the fact. Very good. I mean, Gunther's having a great run, and just another very big positive of Vince being pulled out of creative. This man was planned to be buried over the summer when Vince had the book, and look at where he's at now. Thanks to Triple H's booking, it's just night and day.
The story with Sami Zayn continuing. Wants to go into the Bloodlines dressing room. Paul Heyman stops him and says, "Nobody's here." Oh, really, Paul? Nobody's here, huh? Got a Rey Mysterio cutting a promo, and he's going to enter the Royal Rumble. And Karrion Kross came out and said, "Yeah, probably not," and choked out Rey Mysterio. Liv slaps Raquel Rodriguez for some reason, setting up a match for them later on. Tegan Nox defeats Xia Li in 3 minutes. Drew and Sheamus asking in Adam Pearce's office, asking for a match against the Viking Raiders. And Sheamus wants the Usos, and they were beating the shit out of each other and also hitting Pearce too. And Pearce says, "Well, first you're going to get the Viking Raiders in a tag team tournament to determine the number one contenders for the SmackDown tag titles. So then if you beat the Viking Raiders, you may get one step closer to the Usos." I don't know how many teams are in this tournament. Have they even announced it?
They have not announced that yet.
Probably 4 because there's not a lot of tag teams.
I'm assuming probably like 4. Better than nothing, but
I guess so. When you're talking about Bray Wyatt and dragging this out, yeah, they didn't really do much on Friday at all, so that kind of makes sense too that it's been dragging out. Gunther announcing that he'll be in the Royal Rumble. Awesome. He'll whip a lot of ass in that match. I'm excited to have him in that.
This might be where they set up Lesnar and Gunther for Mania.
Could be.
They could start that in the Rumble.
Raquel beat Liv in 6 minutes as Liv tried to get extreme. Sonya Deville attacking Charlotte after she did not get her way with Adam Pearce. And they reshowed the Cody thing as well. And then the main event, of course, you can't go wrong with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Though it did not go the way Sammy wanted it as he was setting up a haluva kick. The Bloodline comes in and beats up KO for the disqualification. And Sammy not happy about that. So it keeps on progressing to where we hopefully will get to KO and Sami Zayn as a team once again. AEW this week. This was basically a pay-per-view on a Wednesday, wasn't it, Matt?
Oh, dude. Like I said, besides the JAS segment, like this show was fucking awesome.
Dude.
Great show from AEW last week.
Mox and Hangman kicked it off and just whooped each other's asses for 15 minutes. No surprise, Hangman getting the win there on that one. Apparently Mox is now going to sell a concussion and take his long-awaited vacation. Apparently is the way they're going with that storyline. Tony Schiavone in the ring to introduce, oh my God, Adam Cole, baby, as we talked about at the top of the show. Great segment there that we already discussed. Jungle Hook took on Big Bill and Lee, and Jungle Hook getting the win there. Good stuff there. That's a good team. A team I didn't know I needed, Matt.
Sometimes combinations just work, and Jungle Hook is definitely one of those combinations that just work.
Konosuke Takeshita coming out and gets interrupted by MJF. And MJF, is your name pronounced Takeshita? I kind of laughed at that one because when you look at it. But then I loved it when Takeshita told him to kiss his ass. That was a good one. Crowd popped at that one. And Danielson coming out. And MJF talking shit to Ken Jeong and Freddie Prinze because they're in LA, got to talk shit to some of the fans there. I thought it was a lot of fun with MJF and those guys. I thought it was a great segment. Then Danielson to Takeshita, Jesus. Not
awesome.
much you could. Man, I was so excited when that was announced and we got paid off with a great 15-minute match. After the match, Danielson raising Takeshita's hand as a sign of respect. That boy is going to be big in the industry pretty soon. We already talked a little bit about Saraya and Tony Storm against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, as now it almost feels like a double turn. The crowd kind of playing into that as they were cheering Hayter and Britt during that match. Of course, probably because they were expecting Monet, but hey, AEW announced it ahead of time. Hey, Tony Storm's in this match. Of course, we all thought, yeah, Sheeta's going to beat her up, and here comes Mercedes, but that didn't happen.
How about you not have Britt Baker calling herself the boss with a wink to the camera if you're not going to present Mercedes the following week? I'm just saying.
Yeah, and then the insanity.
Don't do stupid shit like that.
And then the insanity of Game 7, Escalera de la Muerta. Oh, that was it.
My only complaint about that match is I wish it had more time.
Yeah,
and it could have if you'd have moved the JS shit to Rampage.
Yeah. They went about 15 minutes. Result didn't surprise you if you've been following this show. Tremendous stuff there. Of course, your new Trios champions, the Elite. That was a lot of fun. Great stuff there. To end Dynamite, Rampage, good. I mean, oh man, that street fight with Willow and Ruby against Ty J. Woo! That was good shit.
Awesome.
Looking forward to tonight and Monday night. Dynamite will be, as we mentioned earlier, for the TNT title, Darby Allin and Kushida. Open challenge that gets announced ahead of time. I don't understand why why Tony does that, but anyways. What was announced last week, Jake Hager taking on Ricky Starks. Bryan Danielson and Bandito, that match won't suck. Willow Nightingale taking on Tony Storm. Hangman Page is going to speak with Renee Paquette. Orange Cassidy puts his All-Atlantic title on the line against Jay Lethal. And the Trios champions, Young Bucks, in their first tag match in a long time, which surprised both Matt and I, they take on Top Flight.
I was surprised it's been that long since they've just had a straight 2-on-2 tag match.
How long had it been?
In like 6 months.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And let's go to the
it was back when Jeff Hardy was still there.
Let's go to the chats real quick here before we get to the Raw rumors and stuff. Jared in the chat, will WWE bring back any legends for the big 30th Raw show? I would assume so.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think we'll see a bunch of names announced tonight. They've already announced a few, but I'm sure we'll get some names
MK
announced
saying
tonight.
Kane, Tatanka, and Flair have been announced, and also Kurt Angle. Looks like we're going to get Yuka Sakazaki. There we go. Against Athena for the ROH Women's title. That might not be a bad
sounds
match.
awesome.
Takeshita needs to be the next All-Atlantic champ. Have him defend in DDT. That would be a bad idea, MK.
I think that's a great idea for his first title.
Safet says the Raw plans are out. We will get to those in just a minute. Street fight. Ruby was gushing blood. Holy cow, Crimson Mask. Greg Bush in the chat. I thought I was going to get tired of the best of 7 series by the end, but damn if they didn't have me hooked every match. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I expected them to have a different angle in every one of the 7 matches, and they managed to do it. And it was
they kept it fresh.
Yeah,
all 7 matches. It was beautifully done, and I thought it was a great finish. Loved it. I can't wait to see what all 6 of those men do next.
Set up for Monday Night Raw tonight. Bloodline is going to be there to cut a promo. Cody Rhodes return part 3. Street Profits and versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Elias versus Almas. Alpha Academy against Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. Michin against Io Sky. Bronson Reed against Akira Tozawa. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch are going to cut some promos. And then, of course, the 6-man U.S. title contender that we met before. Going through some spoilers. There's going to be a match. The Bloodline promo will lead to a match. I'll just leave that for you to watch when it comes live, unless you subscribe to Fightful Select. Other than that, not much in the spoiler section.
Seems like a very basic show.
Yeah, not much in the spoiler section.
It doesn't sound terrible, but I'm not expecting to be blown away tonight. I'm expecting to flip over to the Bucks Cowboys game at several points this evening.
Yeah. Charlie Dempsey is working a main event taping tonight. That's from NXT. Other than that, not much in the spoiler department either. But there you go. Thanks for joining us on Lost the Midcard. We had probably the most people in live that we had ever since we got back on the air in October. We appreciate each and every one of you coming in there. We appreciate every one of you that have commented as well throughout the evening. If you are listening on the podcast, if you're ever free to join us live, we go live every Monday night at 6 Central, 7 Eastern before Monday Night Raw. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go to the Bleav, that's BLEAV, Bleav in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, and give us a subscribe there. Give us a thumbs up on our videos. Help us get the word out to as many people as possible. And before we go enjoy Monday Night Raw in about 3 minutes, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I know we're joking about Raw punting tonight. I'd actually like to think that they won't. I'd like Triple H to go all out tonight, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that's what Raw 30 next week is for.
Yeah.
Heading into the Rumble. I think Dynamite's got another loaded card this week. I'm excited to see what wrestling brings us this week. Hopefully a lot less drama than we've had in previous weeks, thanks to one Vince McMahon.
Follow Matt Black on the Twitter at Raw Showtime. Follow me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And once again, thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online.